Sculpting friends, welcome back. We are working on ears today. So the ears are a bit tricky. So here I have the MC1 in the pale peach, and I'm just making a little semicircle, like a little ear shape, similar to what we did with the mouth, and then just fold that around to make an edge. And I am using the medium needle, the 36. And you're keeping a little bit of a fluffiness to the edge there. So as you can see, I'm leaving a little pocket all the way around. So making a little C and just gently folding it over and then leaving a little edge. So the sizing, I'm just grabbing the head there to make sure it's a good size. It's going to be a little bit bigger than you think because it's going to compress down. So you can see the amount that I started with. It's just a little floof. And then draw another semicircle or C in the opposite direction. And then just folding it over your line that you made. Leaving a little rounded edge there. That's going to be the curl of the ear. So I hope you guys had fun making your teeth. If you're following along, making a doll, or if you're just watching and learning, that's good too. So just very gently folding that over. The ears are a slow process, so we're not going to rush the ears. Just go slow. It's a lot of shallow poking. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours per ear. So there you have your two ears, and you've got the fluff there on the inside that you're going to leave alone. So just kind of flattening out that middle section, leaving that curl in there. Still using that medium needle, the 36, I believe. I need to get my chart out because I'm terrible at remembering the numbers. So I'm folding in some of the fluff there. The bottom is going to be the lobe of the ear. So I pulled up some images on the internet. You can print them out if you want, or just look them up on the internet. Just type in ear, and that helped. Also, you can feel your own ear, look at your ear in a mirror, or just follow along with the tutorial here. I did leave the speed fairly slow. I hope that's okay. It's about a half an hour video, so just so you could really see what I'm doing here. So as you can see, I'm leaving all of the airiness in the C. On the top of the ear, it kind of folds over and kind of curls in. So think about where your ear attaches to your head. It's flush to almost like your cheek area, and then you get that little bit of a curl on the top. So just kind of feel your own ear so you know what you're doing. It's a little fiddly. Okay, so I start to take the fluff and form, I believe it's called the tragus, and that's like where some people get an ear piercing. It's that cartilage bit that sticks over the ear canal. So just kind of start to push that back into the C a little bit there, into your letter C that you have. I guess that would be a backward C. So you have a little bit of a donut. That's kind of pushed in on one side. So just still being really careful. The ears, I use my fingers a lot when I was forming the ears. So I'm using my hands to roll the edge of the ear around and keep that curl, that airy curl, similar to like what we did with the lips and the nose, just keeping that air in there and compressing it by stabbing inside the ear until that starts to firm up. So really watch your fingers. If you need to wear finger guards, that's fine. Living Felt sells finger guards, and I think I linked some on the Amazon links in the beginning of the paragraph. If not, I'll check and make sure that they're there. But some finger guards are great. I was just really careful and really shallow pokes. I'm going really slow and I'm not poking very hard. So I think at one point I do poke my finger, but I'm doing it so softly that I felt it right away and I just kind of jumped a little, but I didn't break skin. So it's just really shallow and just being really slow and careful, or wear finger guards. I don't particularly care to wear them anymore. They make my fingers too hot and they're they're so big. So, but they do help, and I did wear them in the beginning when I was learning. So here I'm going to start attaching the ears. I have formed my little curl all the way around the tragus and the ear lobe and the little curly bit all the way around the ear. So what I recommend is to pin the ears on. Those are just some straight pins for sewing. And just so you can see the top of the ear, if you look at a picture or feel your face, it runs about even with the eye line. And then the bottom will run about even with the bottom of your nose. And then if you run your hand along your chin, up the jawline is how far back. So if you look at the doll, if you look at the line from the chin and go up the head, the earlobe on the bottom should run in line with the jaw. And then I'm just looking at the top of the head to make sure that they're even, the height of the ear is even. And then look from the back. So really just sizing it up. And they are going to shrink down, but just to give you a general placement. You know, it's kind of hard to visualize when they're so fluffy. She's looking really weird without her eyebrows and her hair, and she looks crazy. I think my placement was a little bit off. Just adjusting it there. So I hope you're having fun watching these videos. If you want to leave me any comments, you can do that on my Instagram, Facebook, comment on the videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And you can let me know what you're working on. If you're not doing a doll, if you're not doing one of the Sanderson witches, that's okay. These are all just good tutorials for doing general faces of anything that you happen to be working on. If you want to start with something easy, you can do a monster or a jack-o'-lantern, or just kind of a silly fun person that, you know, a cartoonish person. So just have fun with it. So here I am attaching the ear to the head. So the best ways to start attaching is to get down some of that fuzz in the middle, or in the front there, where the tragus is, that piercing area. You want to leave it, it's going to go flush with the face. So here I'm showing you one that I already did. So that's what you'll end up looking like. And they're movable. And I just wanted to show you too that the eyes, the way we did them, they are movable. And I decided to tilt them down a little bit and show a little bit more of the white of the eye for Winifred. So it was great that I could still move them, which is why that technique, my original fabric technique, I like so much. So you can still adjust them. All right, back to the ear here. We've got our fuzzy one. Sorry about my finger. It's a gardening gardening mishap. So I'll be wearing my ugly Band-Aid there. Sorry about that. So, okay, we're back to attaching on the front. So just getting some of that fluff down. Trying to have my model there in front of me, but wasn't quite working the way I wanted it to. And then to start attaching, really getting that ear canal. With the coarse needle, you can really get that hole established, and that helps to just give you a point of reference and also attach it really firmly. So that's one of the first things that I would do. And then also the deep area of the top of the ear. That's another area where you can start to really aggressively put that in and to attach. Because the other parts you want to still leave kind of airy. So here I'm with my medium needle, and I did switch to the coarse 38 for the ear canal hole. Here I'm to the fine one. So I kind of jump back and forth. When you see that I have the red tipped needle, that is my fine needle, that's the 42. And that one with the peach color is the medium, and that is the 36. The green is the coarse 38. I hope I'm saying these right. I think so. The 38, and I don't use that very often. So if you pull some of the fluff around and kind of tuck it in, you'll keep the curl of the ear. So you can see I'm picking up some of the fluff and I'm using it to like tuck it around. Like if you were making a bed, you would tuck the corners under to keep the curl. And then using my fingers to curl the ear around and then tuck it under. Really watch your hands with those needles. I know this one's a little dangerous. So the ears, you have to move them around a lot because of the angle. And when you look at a picture, you'll see that the lobe lays kind of flat, and then it'll curl up into the ear, and then you'll get a really pronounced curl at the top of the ear, and almost folded in half when you get to that tragus area. So I hope I'm not describing things too much, and I suppose you can always mute me and just watch the video if I'm chattering on too much. So just really lightly firming up that curl without losing it. It can be a little bit tricky, so just be patient and go slow. You can pull the ear off of the head. It'll kind of get attached a little bit, but you want to get behind there, and then it's just with the fine needle, you can start to firm that up on the backside. If it gets a little stringy, if you have attached it to the head too much, so just pull that off, pull the ear off of the head, and get rid of those stringy bits. You can use a reverse needle to pull them out, or if it's, really stringy and bothering you, you can always snip them with scissors, and then tack them back in. But if you have a reverse needle, that would probably be better, just to get rid of the seam and the stringy bit. You want a nice smooth transition on the back there. You will be going back and forth quite a bit, pulling the ear off the head, and because it's such a flat piece, as you're poking through, some of the fiber will come through the back. So you will be having to tidy that up here and there. And you'll see I go back and forth a little bit. I hope that makes sense. Your needle is pushing the wool through the ear when you're stabbing from the front. So I'm just pulling that lobe off of the head, unless you want attached lobes, I guess. And then just really getting that ear canal, that hole established. The more depth that you can create, the more realistic that your ear will be. So there, I'm just cleaning up the attachment. Here I have the fine needle, the 42, and I'm really going for quite a while on that earlobe and where the ear attaches to the front of the face, and just firming that up. So I work here for quite a few minutes. It'll start to shrink the ear down a little bit, and that's what we want to do, is firm that ear up. You want your ear to be really firmly felted, still movable, but just like with the lips and the nose, the fine needle work is going to leave it, it's going to firm up the surface with leaving it still flexible underneath. So just like we did with the other areas of the face. And then in a little bit, we will be adding in a little bit more wool in the middle of your ear, your donut area, to create some of the curvature of the ear. But just by firming it up, it will create some curvature on its own. This area here, I did end up going back in with a stronger needle later to flatten that out a little bit more where it attaches to the face. That's that dull needle that I use. So I think we've reached the point here of, you're just sculpting. So we've got the ear on, and we're just going around. We're needling with the fine needle and really just sculpting the shape of the ear. So this is where you'll really want to get your image, so that you can sculpt the shape that you want. So if it helps you to turn to an image and look at that, or you can use the tutorial, but just sit back and get the shape in that you want to have, and then make sure you're leaving that curl. So use your fingers. I don't go from the back, the edge of the curl a lot, because I don't want to smash it. So here I am back to the back again and just pushing some of those fibers that came through, some of that wool, the wool pushes through. And that's okay because that's going to help firm up the ear too. So it's all compressing it, firming it up, and getting things stiffened up. Here is the reverse needle. So I felt like my line wasn't very smooth, the seam. If you don't want the wool, here I'm going straight into the ear. I'm not going through from one side to the other. I'm going down to thin the ear out. So if you think of, I'm not going from the back to the front. I'm pushing it in towards the head. So that's going to thin the ear out without getting that wool pollution fuzziness to the front of the ear. Does that make sense? I think so. And that helps firm that the back of it up too. So the ears can be a little tedious. I had to make 4. I still have 1 to go. So take a break, go outside, do some yard work. After I make this video, I'm gonna go out and do some yard work. It'll be like when we get to hands, it can be a little tiresome depending on how many hands we're doing at once. So it's good to take a break. Just contouring the shape of the ear. So if you guys want to share my page with your felting friends, that would be great. It's been really fun to have the subscribers, and just I can't wait to see what people are making. I know this seems like a lengthy process, this doll making. It is a lengthy. Needle felting is not quick, but it's a nice project to pick up and work on. And for me, I just do a little bit at a time. And, I like to walk in the room and see their little faces on my table, on my studio table, and they just kind of wait for me to bring them to life. And it's kind of funny to see them half done. Especially after we added those teeth. They were really funny. So just keeping that curl, see how the other ear, like it's almost folded in half. You really have a strong curl at the front. And then if you make fairy ears, those are really fun because you get to make, I think this might be my first actual human ear. All my other ears that I've done have been fairy ears or like a troll ear. And those are really fun to do with the big tip on the top, the big pointy tip on the top. So these are my first normal ears. Not much different, just rounded. So we're really getting close to the end here. And after this video, I will be finishing my last ear, thankfully. And next I will be finishing up the eyes and then putting the eyebrows on. And then I think we will go ahead and I'll show you how to put the glue on the face. So I'll firm up the face one last time, get everything, all the little fuzzies off, and then I seal it with a fabric glue. And so I'll show you how to do that step by step. Oh, and then also I use a colored chalk. So I'm going to put a little bit of brown in the ear, just in the very deepest area. Oh, here, let me tell you what I'm doing here. So just contouring the inside of the ear. So just take a little fluffy bit and kind of compress it down. And if you can see in the other ear, there's kind of like another little C that's inside the ear. And so you're just going to make a little ridge just to give a little bit of contouring. And, there's all kinds of hills and valleys inside your ear. So without getting crazy with the realism, it just adds a little bit. So just put that little tiny bit in there, and then you can firm it up gently with, I'm just moving the dowel needle around to place it. But you can just firm it up gently with your medium and your fine needle there. You're just tacking it in. And that just gives you a little bit of shape in there. So I was saying before, I'm going to use the chalk. So I'm going to show you, put a little bit of brown wool in the deepest part of the ear, but the rest we'll use some colored chalk. And I will show you that process very soon. I don't like to use wool to do very much of my coloring because it just can be a little harsh. You can tend to see the fibers kind of going off into the wool. So to me, it's not as natural looking. The chalk goes on really nice and subtly. And then once you seal it with the fabric glue, it'll stay. It's not going to come out. So I'll show you that. So I'm just moving the ear around and finishing up or really getting close to being done. It's so cute when it starts to take its final shape and you're like, oh yeah, there it is. It's really amazing the shape that you can get, and I don't know, wool is such a neat medium. I really enjoy working with it. It seems so daunting at first when you've got this big fluffy thing and you're like, how is this ever gonna turn into something? So there I'm showing you that the top of the ear rests along with the eye line, and the bottom is along the nose, the bottom of the nose. If you do get your ear on and it's like way out of whack in the wrong position, you can just pull it off. So, it's not really going to mess up the structure that you have. You should be able to maintain the integrity of what you've created. Just try to pull it off. If you really can't get it off and it's completely stuck on, just try to snip it gently with keeping the shape of the ear you've created, and just snip it off of the head. And then you can fix that. So don't panic if you if it's on there and it's like just in the complete wrong area, you know, too high or too low or whatever, get it the way you want it. So just take it off and reattach it. And I really recommend getting a reverse needle, because if you do a repair like that, you'll probably have seams and stuff that you have to fix. So a reverse needle will help you to fix all that. And the reverse needle takes wool out. So it'll fluff up any areas that, you know, need to be refelted. I was looking at the picture of Winifred and she has earrings. So that'll be really funny. We'll have to figure out a way to make some earrings. I don't know. Maybe out of clay, or maybe I could find an earring at like a thrift store or something that would suffice. So we'll see what I can come up with. I'm still hoping to be done with these by October, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think it's coming along though, you know. We'll see. I mean, really all we have left is just the hair and then the body. So here I am just getting some of those fuzzies down, neatening up the attachment of the top of the ear. And then this is when I really realized that the front of the ear was like sticking out way too much. So I think I push it in right about now. We'll see in a few minutes. It's like if you look at your ear, your tragus area is like really indented into your head. Because I was wondering, why does this look so weird still? And then it was much better after I fixed that. So I hope this video is not too slow. I kind of rambled on a little bit. I'm sorry. Here's the brown. Same brown that we used in the nostrils and around the teeth. So just put in a little bit. I know it looks a little bit weird right now, but when we put the colored chalk in, it'll blend in. If you feel like it's too dark for you, you don't have to put it in. You can just use the colored chalk. But I was looking at some images of the ear, and it's really dark. Because it is a hole, basically a hole in your head. So I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you next week. We'll have some eyebrows. There, I'm pushing that area I was talking about in. Right there, see, pushing that middle. And then I did have to needle felt it. That's with the strong needle to get that to stay. And see how much that helped to just shape the ear. It was really bothering me. Something was not looking right. So if you have something on your doll or on the ear that's really bothering you, and you can't tell what is going on, sometimes just take a minute to step back. If you take a picture, sometimes that helps, or just leave it for the day and come back to it tomorrow with fresh eyes. And sometimes you'll see it differently. All right, well, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.